The life-changing mission underway at this indoor water park resort in the Poconos involving water, but not in the way you might think. Gone camping, and the small business getting you ready for outdoor adventures this summer. Plus, how the Poconos played a role in the recent launch of Pennsylvania's new tourism brand.
Hitting the links with the new river bridge and a course rescued from closure, plus a resort golf outing with Diana. Meet the entrepreneurs of the Poconos and visit historic gray towers in Milford for a Pocono Perspectives. All on this episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine. All right, we've got one for Bree. We've got one for Dee.
Thank you.
And one for me, folks. Hey, what do we got in store this month, ladies?
Well, listen, June is the kickoff of summer like we talked about, and there's so much to do no matter what the weather. We have indoor things to do, but hit the trails, get on the lake, just get out there and have fun.
And of course, we love our indoor water park resorts where it's bathing suit season now and really any time of the year. And that's where we're kicking off this June episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine. Take a look.
Welcome to Kalahari Resorts and Conventions in the Pocono Mountains, home to America's largest indoor water park open year-round, nearly 1,000 overnight rooms, a variety of high-quality restaurants, family fun both indoors and out, an award-winning spa, plus one of the largest convention centers in the Northeast, hosting any kind of meeting or event.
It's really a one-stop shop for great family vacations and also for conventions as well.
Right away, you'll notice the resort's African theme, inspired by a trip the Nelson family took many years ago to South Africa.
And with it being in South Africa for 2 or 3 hours, they had decided that they were going to come back to America and they were going to build authentically themed African resorts and bring the culture and the artwork and the feeling that they experienced in Africa back to America. I always love it when I'm walking through the resort and I meet some guests and they say, I've been here, I recognize this artwork, and it's like, this is amazing. It's because it's everything that you see. If it looks like it's from Africa, it's from Africa.
As their visits continued and the Kalahari brand expanded, the Nelson family realized African communities lack what their indoor water parks have: water. That's why they've pledged to bring clean, safe drinking water to 1 million people in Africa through the Watercolors Life project in partnership with Charity Water. It's a $50 million commitment.
My favorite video is when the water well actually hits, they're drilling a well and they actually hit water and the water is spraying out of the well and the entire village is dancing through all this water as they realize how their life is going to change.
All around Kalahari are the faces and stories of African residents, including this woman who lost her 10-year-old son after he fell down a hand-dug well and drowned while fetching water. She prayed for a community well so other mothers wouldn't feel her same pain, and the Watercolors Life project delivered. This heavy jerry can also gives guests a glimpse into how water is carried for hours back to rural regions.
And they fill them with water from usually a stream that's not running or a pond where animals are drinking out of it and bathing in it, and that's the water that they take back to their villages and they use.
There are several ways for Kalahari's guests to get involved, including by purchasing select sculptures on display, each piece proudly handcrafted by an African artist. The initiative is called Sculpting the Future.
Guests have the opportunity to purchase these, take it back to their home, and know that the money from that sculpture is going to help, drill more wells in Africa. And the family is managing these proceeds.
Direct donation devices can also be found throughout the resort. Special water bottles and books are on sale to support the cause. Toss a coin in the lobby's wishing well or donate online.
Guests can also give back by rounding up their order when visiting a retail location here at the resort. I just bought an iced coffee for $4.24 and it's now $5.
Have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See, as easy as that.
So the next time you come to Splash and Slide, remember the people who inspired this resort, helped create your family memories here. And consider giving water while enjoying it.
We're creating great resort experiences, but at the same time, we are helping to bring fresh, clean water to 1 million people in Africa. It's just such a game changer for their entire life. So I'm very proud to be part of this.
And if you live in northeastern Pennsylvania, Kalahari Resorts offers various deals and discounts through its Locals Crew program. Visit Kalahari's website to see if you live in one of the 16 covered counties. With the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Still to come on Pocono Mountains Magazine, it's out with the old, in with the new here at Shawnee Inn Golf Resort. That's part of the old bridge. There's a new bridge, and it's permanent across the Delaware River, so they can golf here in 4 full seasons. You're gonna want to see their story straight ahead.
Get ready to tee it up with me, coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
Pocono Mountains Magazine will be right back. But first, let's check out how the Poconos have been making the news lately. The Monroe County Historical Association in Stroudsburg held a topping out ceremony to celebrate construction progress for a new heritage center set to be complete by Christmas. Everyone in attendance, including yours truly, signed this beam, which will be part of the structure, preserving this historic project for generations to come.
He normally spends his weekends helping guests on the slopes, but on the last day of the season last year, he was the one needing help.
A volunteer ski ranger at Camelback Resort who had a heart attack on the slopes recently reunited with those who saved his life. Steve Baumberger got to thank his fellow Camelback Ski Patrol members and the medical team at Lehigh Valley Hospital Pocono for their quick and life-saving actions last April.
Pocono Raceway has been voted best NASCAR track in the country by USA Today 10 Best Readers. The Tricky Triangle will host NASCAR again this year, July 12th through the 14th in Long Pond. Last year was a sellout crowd. Also, new this year, the NASCAR Cup Series race that Sunday will be named the Great American Getaway 400 presented by Visit PA. All a part of the state's new tourism brand rolled out last month by Governor Shapiro. More on that later in the show.
And what we've evolved into is this full adult destination right outside New York City. So when you think of everything from our gaming offerings, our dining.
NBC New York visited Mount Airy Casino Resort, showcasing the quick and easy getaway for adults looking for a place to play, stay, and dine under one roof. They also stopped by the swift water of the Poconos as that high-touch property gets ready to open to the public.
It's running rough.
Smoke, we didn't see that. What's this? No idea. Sparkulator.
Where'd you get this, mechanic?
You'll make it happener. Yeah, a deck of cards, could always use those. She's gonna run like a top.
If you want to see the pros do this, come to the Pocono Raceway. Tickets available at PoconoRaceway.com.
Be a part of NEPA Gives, Northeast Pennsylvania's largest giving event. On June 6th through 7th, donate to participating nonprofits through an easy online platform. Matching funds, incentives, and bonuses take your donation dollars further. NEPA Gives is supported by the Scranton Area Community Foundation, Posture Interactive, and the community foundations in Luzerne, Carbon, Pike, Monroe, and Wayne counties. Now in its 5th year, NEPA Gives has raised over $4 million for local charities since 2020. Give a little, give a lot through NEPA Gives. Learn more at nepagives.org.
Hey everyone, it's Jim Hamill with Pocono Television Network, and we're standing on what used to be part of the temporary bridge here over the Delaware River at Shawnee Inn Golf Resort. Well, since then, it's been replaced by a permanent bridge. Shawnee's invested on a bridge that's going to last for a very long time, opening up the entire course year-round to golfers. So we wanted to show you some of the exciting things happening at golf courses right here in the Poconos. Let's start with that bridge. All right, guys, we're here at number 7 on the blue course here at Shawnee Inn Golf Resort. Head golf pro Nick Lucier joining us here again. We did this hole a couple years ago, Nick, but the layout has changed a little bit. The old temporary bridge right here, now we got a new one.
Yeah, we got a new one, bigger, double lane. We're very excited about it. Ownership, very proud of it. We're proud as employees just to have it. This gives us great opportunity to be open year-round for the golf. I think that's that's a plus for the Poconos in general. So we're excited to be open year-round for that.
And here we are, ready to tee off again.
Good.
It's sort of crazy to fall in love with an inanimate object. but I'm in love with that bridge.
Shawnee dedicated the new bridge over the river recently, the owners touting the investment as something that was in the works for a long, long time.
I feel like this is a dream come true for our family, and I dare say it's a dream come true for C.C. Worthington and for Fred Waring, if I could say that. I don't know, Malcolm, Bev, I think you could safely say it was the dream for 100 years to have a bridge that wouldn't be dangerous, that wouldn't need to come in and out, a bridge that would provide for a much longer golf season.
This time-lapse shows the old bridge needing to be installed and uninstalled each spring and fall, but now the new bridge is in place, letting golfers cross onto the island part of the course consistently.
The gap between seasonal and permanent, the gap between temporary and here to stay.
Yep. All right, folks, for the par. I know you're away.
Ready, golf.
Oh, too much. Too strong, too strong. But it's not bad for the first day out of the 2024 season. Nick,
How'd you do it?
Nice par. Nice par, man. Thanks for having us here.
My pleasure.
All right, check
Thanks
them out.
for visiting.
Shawnee Golf. Where do they find you online?
ShawneeInn.com.
ShawneeInn.com. All right, come on out, play the course, experience the new bridge because it's here for a very long time to come.
And our best rates are found online.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Nice drive, Brian Zukowski here at Terra Greens. Brian, this place has been open for quite a long time. Thanks for having us here on Pocono
Thanks for
Mountains
coming out, guys.
Magazine,
I
man.
really appreciate it.
Absolutely, but now you guys are reborn in a way under a nonprofit trying to save this course from closure. Tell me why you guys are open for all these golfers.
So we, the borough of East Stroudsburg decided to close the golf course at the beginning of last year. A nonprofit was created in March, and they finally allowed us to come in and start mowing in end of June, which the fairway seed heads were this high, the greens were this high, but we finally got the lease end of October. We opened up for a month end of last year, and then we opened up this year for the rest of the season. So it's slowly getting there. I mean, it's come a long way, but it still needs a little bit more time.
But we're excited to play with you.
There you go.
While you tee up there, tell me about your family history here.
So my father, my two uncles, and my grandmother built the course themselves, basically. A little help here and there, but of course they started building probably in 1959 and finished the course and opened in 1964. I've been here basically all my life through that build.
Brian, thanks for having us here at Terra Greens. Where can people find out more about the course?
You can find more about the course on Facebook, Friends of Terra Greens Golf Course.
Sounds like a plan, man. Thanks for having us here on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your
Appreciate you
season.
guys coming out.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right. Want to get out on the Poconos courses this season? Head to PoconoMountains.com/golf to find out all you need to know about some of the best golfing around. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
Hey everyone, Deanna Fontanez here. Outdoor activities in the Poconos are on a level of their own, but golfing in the Poconos, that's a different story. Today I'm here at Skytop Lodge to give you some ideas for a girls' golf getaway. Let's go tee it up. Hi everyone, so I'm here with Justin, golf professional on Skytop Lodge. So Justin, tell me a little bit about the course.
The golf course is available for all skill levels. The course was built in 1928, and it's a classic old school golf course. We have a lot of different beautiful views out here, and it's really playable for all golfers alike.
So since it's been a while that I've played, what are the holes that you would suggest are best for me?
The best signature holes, especially for women here, would be our second hole. Has a beautiful view of the lodge and our lake here. Number 10 is always a fun hole, hitting it over the water. The golf course is not a very up and down golf course. It's gently rolling hills. A lot of people think Pocono golf is very hilly, up and down. Not here at Skytop, since we're on the mountain. You have a lot more views and you have a lot less up and down shots.
So should I get out there?
You should.
I'm gonna take your tips and I'm taking them on the course.
Let's go.
All right. Hey everyone, so I'm here with my golf friends, Leslie and Faith. So ladies, tell me a little bit about what got you into the sport. Like I know this is mainly like a male sport and now the ladies are kind of getting out there on the course. So what made you guys get out on the course?
My husband started about 5 years ago, so I joined a year later with him just for fun, something to do with him.
And I started when I was 10 because I grew up in a golfing family, and that's what my parents did all the time.
It's beautiful up here. I love playing up here because it is a challenge, but then there's some easier holes.
We're trying to get more of the women that are here full time to be out golfing and learning to golf because so many of the men already were playing.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies. I have Faith and Leslie with me. I had such a blast with you girls. Thank you for the tips and tricks. I will definitely be using them the next time I go golfing. Anything you want to tell the ladies?
Just keep coming and playing. It's a fun game, and you can always get better.
Practicing, and it's all for fun.
Yep, all for fun. So now I'm going to check out a little bit more of the resort. So I'm here with Christy, Director of Sales and Marketing at Skytop Lodge. So I wanted to talk to you about if someone is planning a golf girls getaway.
Sure.
What other activities do you guys offer besides golf, obviously?
Yeah, so there's a couple different things. So if you're looking to stay all night, you have the Treetop Adventure Course, you have kayaks and boat rentals included, indoor-outdoor pool, shooting center, new pickleball courts. So there's a lot of stuff for girls to get out and stay busy. Not only are we just known for our summer activities, but we're also a 4-season resort.
I love it.
During the winter, we do tubing, beginner ski, we do ice fishing, and a lot of our other outdoor activities that are open during the summer are also open during the winter.
And are those activities for just guests or kind of both?
Kind of both, yeah.
Oh, I like that, okay. So Christy, I know the resort's been around for a long time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, this year we're actually celebrating our 96th birthday, so we're already making plans of what we're gonna do for our 100th anniversary within a few years. But some really nice things to mention, we just won our 8th Four Diamond Award, so we're really excited about that. And then also this past year, we brought home the best historic hotel in America.
Wow. So thank you so much for having us today. I had such a good time playing on the course, kind of walking around, seeing the property. If people want to check you guys out, where can they find all the info?
They can go right on our website. Easy enough, www.skytop.com.
And social media?
Skytop Lodge.
Skytop Lodge?
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys want to check out any information on golfing, Girls Golf Getaway, which is the perfect thing, any of the activities or events coming up, go to the website, check their social media. This is Christy. I'm Deanna from the Pocono Television Network. Thanks for watching.
Still to come, what does a friendly game of wiffle ball, the Pocono Beverage Trail, and Pennsylvania's governor all have in common? Find out how the Poconos played a role in the launch of Pennsylvania's new tourism brand, next. Plus, pack your bags and get ready for a camping adventure. Deanna shows us around the perfect place to pitch a tent, get cozy in a cabin, or roll in the RV. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
This edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine is presented by St. Luke's Monroe Campus and East Stroudsburg University.
Get ready for the Great American Getaway. That's Pennsylvania's new slogan under Governor Josh Shapiro's tourism brand launch, and he's kicking it off by RV, traveling to 50 stops among 14 counties, including here in the Pocono Mountains. And today we caught up with him here at Barley Creek Brewing Company in Tannersville.
tourism is big business here in the Commonwealth. $77 billion contributing to our economy. 500,000 of our fellow Pennsylvanians work in tourism, and we wanted to launch the brand campaign here in northeastern PA because y'all have it all. Amazing eateries like right here at Barley Creek. You've got skiing, you've got outdoors, you've got everything here. It's an exciting place to be, and so Lieutenant Governor and I wanted to launch here.
I think this region really epitomizes what we're trying to do in terms of tourism, and an example of how much Pennsylvania truly has to offer and how centrally located we are to other states. So we hope this raises awareness, and we hope we encourage non-Pennsylvanians to come here and take advantage of all the great things we have.
We wanted to lift up our breweries from all across Pennsylvania as important destinations for folks here in the Commonwealth and folks who are visiting. They're doing an amazing job here at Barley Creek. I mean, they are, first off, they're sustainable. They're creating delicious product right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's an amazing place, both indoor and out, to just hang out, to congregate. And it's a four seasons area, right? You're coming here winter, spring, summer, and fall.
The Poconos has it all. To me, an avid outdoorsman, it's all about the outdoors. You have skiing, you have hiking, you have whitewater paddling. These are the things I like to do, and the Poconos is a terrific, really globally terrific destination for those activities.
Pennsylvania is a 4-hour drive to about 75 million Americans. And we see that in the data, we see that in the facts and the evidence that we've got people coming from all across this country in just a short drive, and they get the chance to experience what's great about Pennsylvania. Our arts and culture, our restaurants, our sports, our outdoors, we got a million different things, and people want to come here. They want to have their getaway here. The birthplace of America, and this is the Great American Getaway.
With the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Looking for a fun way to enjoy nature with your family? We've got you covered. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
And enjoy a candid conversation from Dunkelberger Sports Outfitters, a beloved family business in the Poconos for the last half-century. Plus, owner Jere shows us all the outdoor adventures you can have this time of year.
Now you've got the Poconos in the palm of your hand.
For places to stay and shop.
And stories about the Pocono Mountains.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com to download the app and get the information you need for your visit with us. Jere Dunkelberger, we're in downtown Stroudsburg at your wonderful store. How long have you been in business?
Well, just 52 years.
Just 52
yeah,
years.
Yeah, it'll be
wow.
52 years. And been right here in downtown Stroudsburg. And although this is my third location, but been in Stroudsburg. And then, of course, we have our new location in Broadettsville, which is actually 12 years old. So been around a while.
Do you mind telling us how you started?
Well, started, obviously, I was pretty young at the time, new family, the whole bit, and I had an opportunity through a friend of mine, and he had to leave the business and offered it to me, and so I took a chance. And interesting, it was a very cold day in February 18th to be exact, 1972. End of that day, I rung the cash register out, and the total sales for that day was $4.75. I went home that night, I went in the bathroom, I looked in the mirror, and I said, Jere, what have you done? you know, I thought, oh, how am I gonna survive, you know, doing this amount of business? But things went on, things progressed, and there was no plan at that time. It just progressed, and here I am today.
5 decades, right? So you must have seen so much change in the Poconos.
Yeah.
Right? What have you seen? What struck you the most?
Obviously, we've had a huge influx of second home people. That's been big. It's been an important part of the business as well because it's brought in new clients, new personnel. The other thing too is, you know, we've become a real destination for summer and winter as far as water park, skiing, et cetera, And that's been a big change. That has evolved over the years.
So when you first started in the beginning, was it always sporting goods all the time?
Yeah, oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, just it was a constant, you know, seeing what's new and trying to find the niche and what's going on.
You can outfit them from head to toe here, right?
Oh yeah, and that's one of the unique things about, I pride myself on our business. You can come in as a beginner and say maybe you're interested in fishing. Well, I would do it, or I can have someone else say, hey, this is what you need to get started, and this is how you do it, and this is where you go.
That must be really satisfying for you.
Very much so, particularly the young people coming into the sport, whether it be fishing, hunting, whatever they may do. But it's nice to see the father or the mother bring the young guys in, or the girls and the ladies, and continue in the sport.
So, Jere, you talked a little bit about starting always in sporting goods, right? So what are your main line items, would you say? Like, what do you see most of now?
Firearms are a major part of our business. The fishing also is, you know, that's a major portion. Our clothing and footwear business has expanded dramatically. Our ladies' store next door is just sensational. And my daughter runs that and does a wonderful job. It's an upscale casual store, and it just all the latest and greatest in fashions.
So you mentioned fishing, so I wanted to ask you, what is fishing like in the Poconos? I've heard that we have some of the best freshwater fishing in the United States.
There's no question. Particularly, and it's world known as the Broadage Creek is just a wonderful trout fishery. We also have some great, wonderful lakes, a lot of lakes around. The Delaware River gets a fabulous shad run in the spring, which is, you know, draws a lot of people. But yeah, the fishing here in the Poconos is tremendous.
What do you think is the best hunting here in the Poconos, or do you think it's pretty broad-based?
Okay, well, yeah, the whitetail is the big push, the big thing for the Poconos. We have turkey and black bear, and I could go on and name many others. One interesting thing about the black bear in the Poconos, which is, I think, very little known, but there are more black bear per square mile in our Pocono area than any place in the world. Our swamps, our state lands, etc. It just is, it's a natural habitat for these animals, and we have a substantial population.
You know, Ed, before I ask the final question, what's your favorite outdoor thing to do and why?
I obviously grew up as a hunter and fisherman. Today, I'm a little more of a fisherman than a hunter.
What do you like to fish? Do you like fly fish?
Oh, I do it all.
Do you?
Yeah, I do it all. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just as long as I'm out fishing, well, that's, yeah.
Just being outside, in the water, relaxing.
I just enjoy the outdoors.
Why downtown Stroudsburg? You know, 52 years downtown Stroudsburg, very committed to it. Sure. Why do you think?
Well, obviously, this is where I started. Downtown Stroudsburg has been home. It's great. The people have been wonderful. We've created a destination here that people come to us for what we have and what we do. And I have no reason to go anywhere else other than right here. I mean, this is our flagship store. Although, as I say, we do have our location in Broadensville, but Stroudsburg's home.
And I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today and telling some of the folks from PTN just about who you are and what you do. These are one of the gems of the Pocono Mountains, this experience, but also meeting the real people that are involved in. That's what we try to bring you here on PTN. That's the Pocono Television Network. I'm Chris Barrett here with Jere Dunkelberger, the owner of Dunkelbergers. Without you, we can't do it. Thanks for watching.
If you're looking for a fun, affordable way to enjoy nature with your family, camping in the Poconos is the way to go. Today we're here at Mountain Vista Campground. I'm gonna have a little chat with Jason, whose family owns the property. So Jason, tell me a little bit about what's different about camping in the Poconos than anywhere else.
You know, the Poconos has such a great amount of amenities and attractions and such nature that you don't really get to see anywhere else. And you know, we're so close to so many people that you can get away and escape.
Tell me what's different about your campground.
Sure. Okay. We actually, the campground is here from the 60s, and we've been here since the early 80s. We've grown up with a lot of these families that have been camping here with us for 2, 3, 4 generations.
What keeps them coming back?
I think the location is great. I mean, I think we try to be friendly and we're engaged with the people too, for sure. But I think that, the fact that such a neat area and such a neat experience, and of course all the trees do help, especially when we start to get this hot summer weather.
I was going to say, it's kind of like tucked away, very serene. Yeah, I'm a foodie. I love to cook. I saw you guys had a little herb garden. So tell me about that.
It was something that we decided to try a few years back, and I mean, the campers love it because, we have about a dozen different herbs that they can come down and grab and take back for their food.
You have a lot to do here.
Sure, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have the pool, splash pads, fishing pond, volleyball, 2 playgrounds, the pickleball. We do have an arcade. We have some other outdoor games. Ping pong. We try to have a bunch of free games too for them to play. So that's pretty exciting.
It's awesome. It's like there's so much to do. You definitely will not be bored. So we're here outside the trading post. So what do you offer here for campers that they can come pick up?
Sure. We got a great variety of candies and snacks. So of course we have that kind of stuff. We have some RV and camping supplies because we do get a lot of trailers. That's in here as well. We do have coffee and teas, and we do have hand-dipped ice cream too, which is probably one of the biggest sellers.
Oh, I love that. And then I saw you have some fun little camping souvenir things too.
We do, yeah. Everybody wants to go somewhere and get a souvenir,
Oh, I love a souvenir. I saw you guys have a sauna. That's pretty cool.
We do, yeah. That's pretty unique. That goes over real well, especially in the spring and the fall. But we thought that was a nice addition to be a little bit different.
No, I feel like I would definitely enjoy that. So now that we kind of talked about a little bit about what you have, should we go take a tour?
Sure, that'd be great.
All right. So Jason, your campground offers so many different ways for people to camp. Can you tell me a little bit about them, and then we're going to tour some?
Everyone starts in a tent, and we have great tent experience for them, and then the pop-ups, fifth wheels, trailers, motorhomes. There's such a variety. We do have a couple different varieties of cabins and some glamping accommodations.
Oh wow, this is beautiful.
We do have some primitive camping cabins for people that just want the one step up from the tent that are real popular, and then the rest of ours do have bathrooms, and of course then we have the more deluxe ones that have kitchens and air conditioning, heat. This one is our largest cabin. Has a little living area, of course, too. This is neat because it gives a different experience, and it's intermixed with our cabin, so somebody can do this experience and have the cabin next door.
Because sometimes glamping usually is like a tent style thing, not indoors and not a bathroom.
It is. So our glamping thing is a little bit different. This gives them the little bit of glamping experience, but gives them the traditional camping experience, so they still have all the amenities of the campground.
So Jason, I saw a lot of these carvings all throughout the campground, and your mom was telling me earlier that the families love to kind of do like a scavenger hunt to kind of find them, and this is something unique to you guys, right?
They are, yeah. We have about 60 different locations on the campground where they've been carved.
Yeah, I love it. So much detail. So the kids really love looking around for them. Well, that was fun. Thank you so much for having us today and giving us a tour of the campground. If people have never heard of you guys before, where can they check you out?
Sure, they can go to mountainvistacampground.com, for our website, or that same address for our Facebook and Instagram.
I love it. So thank you again for having us. This is Jason from Mountain Vista, and I'm Deanna Fontanez for the Pocono Television Network. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is alive and well in the Pocono Mountains. Find out how these businesses are flourishing in an incubator and an accelerator. That's coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
At East Stroudsburg University, you will study with cutting-edge technology. You can perform in the classroom, field, or stage. You'll get involved on campus and off. You can have fun preparing for your future.
When kid stuff was kid stuff. Remember those days? We do. Visit PoconoMountains.com.
Hi, it's Jim Hamill with Pocono Television Network in this former elementary school in Honesdale, where I went to school many years ago. The Stourbridge Elementary is now the Stourbridge Project. It's got a co-working space downstairs. Let's go check that out. This part downstairs is free to the public during the daytime to come and use the internet and the office space. But upstairs is a business incubator for entrepreneurs on the second and third floors. We want to talk about entrepreneurship in the Poconos, both here at the Stourbridge Project and at the ESU in Innovation Center. Come check it out.
Within these two brick and glass buildings, an hour and 50 miles of Pocono Mountains separating them, are the next-gen entrepreneurs helping to innovate and accelerate our economy. Welcome to the East Stroudsburg University Innovation Center and the Stourbridge project in Honesdale. The former elementary school has been a business incubator now for a full decade, spearheaded by WEDCO, Wayne County, and Workforce Alliance.
It's not just about us building, it's building that community and working with others.
George Budman helps cultivate that community from the co-working space downstairs, a prototyping lab, training room, nearly all of the offices on the upper floors filled, following a huge renovation project here.
What we're finding is that folks come in, they might be introduced to the co-working space downstairs, doing some R&D. We get introduced, they talk about a plan, we introduce them to some of our partners. Next thing you know, boom, they have an LLC, they're in the incubator program.
Stacked boxes surround Jason Deeron of Flyleaf Print, one of the success stories of the Stourbridge project.
Casper Sleep was our first client. You know, direct-to-consumer has been huge for us. We specialize really in packaging. We've become an extension of our startups.
And new to the project, Experta Consulting, Alejandra, like others here, is able to leverage the Keystone Innovation Zone benefits and the inherent benefits like networking.
It feels like a grown-up business now. We started Experta 1 year ago, and again, just having a place and an office, it just makes it feel like now it's a real business, and I'm not making it up.
Back to school and ESU's Innovation Center, Patrice Dumais is George's counterpart here and making a similarly major impact.
I provide entrepreneurial support for these businesses, right? And I have about 25 companies within our accelerator programs that employ about 99 employees.
Between the Warrior Launchpad and incubator for students, wet labs where the startups can test ideas, and this accelerator is ramping up businesses just like Orange Pavers.
We are planning to expand and build more facilities on our property.
This is Orange Pavers' headquarters, and its plant in Jackson Township, fired up in 2023, now has 60 employees.
We're trying to cultivate a strong network and create an entrepreneurial ecosystem, right? And the companies here are 0 to 8 years. So once they reach that 8-year mark, our goal is to get them out into Monroe County. Keep them here, keep those tax dollars here, keep that economic vitality growing.
Like Game Face products making innovative grooming solutions for men, or ESU alumnus Marathon Studios, which does e-commerce. And then there's BIM. Yes, BIM, Building Information Modeling. The Indian company Adventure trains from right here in the Innovation Center.
Our BIM for Beginners class is a 90-hour course. It usually takes about 10 weeks to finish, and it's 4 days a week training in the evenings.
Both hubs of entrepreneurship could be anywhere on the map, but being right here in the Poconos is the key ingredient for these entrepreneurs.
We are located in the center of Poconos, and which is a strategic location for us because we are very dependent on raw materials. And we all know that Pocono area is famous of a lot of quarries, and that's all the raw materials that we need in order to produce our product that we need.
I go to the city maybe once a month for events or stuff, and I just get like very claustrophobic there. I'm like, oh, I just need to go back. So yeah, it's just a perfect thing. My clients are in the West Coast, in Utah, in Chicago, and I don't need to be there. I can do it all from here.
I love being in the Business Accelerator building and the Innovation Center here. The whole ESU team is very supportive as far as creating events for us to foster those networking opportunities with the students, with professors, with other businesses in the accelerators.
It's home, right? You know, it's familiar. Having my kids grow up here was great. You know people. You walk down Main Street, you know, people say hello. You know, it's a nice experience.
So when they outgrow us, we can put them in the community, you know, before the 8-year trademark. So that's what we're looking to do, and partner and grow and grow and grow and create jobs in Wayne County and build a community here at the same time.
I also like to highlight the fact that we're more than just rentable space, right? Like, we're more than just real estate. We provide you with resources. We provide you with things that can help you accelerate your business.
Accelerating, incubating, true to the entrepreneurial spirit found only in the Pocono Mountains. This has been Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network. Now for an update on a story we shared with you back in October of 2022 at Lackawanna Sanctuary Field Station and Environmental Education Center.
Really the three things of our mission, which is research, and then we do education programs, so we have an education center. The third part is preservation, and that's basically preserving the 550 acres.
Wow, this is Lackawanna's dream, to have adequate space to host education programs for K-12 students and the public has finally come to fruition. Today we gather to officially open the new education center. Besides these renovations, LACWAC created plans to construct a new 3,000 square foot addition to the center, which you are now currently sitting or standing in.
I think that this will be a tremendous asset to the community. And my wish is that more people will come, more people will appreciate it and enjoy it and benefit from it. And then in their lives, take that home with them. On every level, we need businesses and local government and state and federal government to consider the environment. It is the single greatest thing we can do for our kids and our grandchildren.
Construction on this building began in July of last year, and construction was completed by the end of March. The addition connects to the existing building by the deck that you came through, and the lower level below us houses storage and a wet lab for all ages to learn about ecology and hands-on activities, modern equipment, and up-to-date resources.
We first told you about the plans to expand the Environmental Education Center at Lackawanna thanks to donations from the William E. Chatlos Foundation. The Environmental Education Center is now named in his honor.
People say you must be proud of these achievements, and I say, no, Bill and I are thankful. We're thankful to have the opportunity to be able to help as much as we can.
Also, money from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources helped make this a reality. Congratulations to Lackawanna Sanctuary. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network. It's widely considered as the birthplace of the American conservation movement. Learn all about Gray Towers National Historic Site with Chris Barrett and Pocono Perspectives coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your hands, feet, shoulders, hips, and knees. Because healthy bones and joints mean you can do more. You can trust us to recommend the right approach to care, including joint-sparing treatments and therapies. And when surgery is the only choice, we offer options to help you heal faster, including technology-assisted joint replacements and muscle-sparing hip surgery. St. Luke's, the orthopedic care you trust, now more than ever.
Joe Koloski, who is Gifford Pinchot and why is he important?
Gifford Pinchot was the first chief of the U.S. Forest Service and was very instrumental in forming and shaping what conservation looks like in the United States and North America today.
The Pocono Mountains is the birthplace to a Pocono wonderland of untold pleasure.
Winter in the Poconos, clear and crisp.
Called the land of the waterfall.
A recipe for romance.
When the Pinchot family came to this area after they left France, they were in the dry goods business. They had a dry goods store here in Milford, but they also bought land. And they also got involved in the timber business and then leasing that land to farmers after it was cleared of trees. So that was one of the ways that they generated income and built their wealth. James Pinchot, who was Gifford's father, decided not to stay with that family business, and he went to New York City and he got associated with a couple partners, and they were actually importing fine wall coverings and window coverings from Europe.
Which was rare at the time, right? Wall covering was rare at the time?
It was a luxury item, And so in that business, James, in a very short amount of time, was able to generate a lot of wealth. And actually, he retired when he was around 40 years old. He would come back to Milford and visit family and be with family. But at that time, around the time that he was considering retirement, he and his wife Mary decided that they wanted to build a summer home in Milford, and that was Great Towers.
And I should say, for everybody watching, you're watching Pocono Perspectives on the Pocono Television Network. We're here with the director of Great Towers. He's walking us through why Gifford Pinchot was a critical figure, not only in state history, but in the conservation movement in the United States. So his parents had accumulated some wealth. So we're back to the 1880s again, right? And early 1900s. Gifford is educated. Where did he go from there?
Okay, so in 1886, construction was completed on Great Towers. Gifford had graduated from Yale, and his parents had a keen interest in what his future was going to be. They also were very concerned with conservation and what was happening with natural resources, and they saw the trends of deforestation, lack of replanting, and we're starting to see some of the effects of that. The problem was that there was no institution that offered a formal education in forestry. There were no professionally trained foresters in the country, and so they convinced Gifford that this was his calling, that this was his cause, and Gifford went to France and enrolled in forestry school at France, where he attended forestry school and then traveled Europe, Germany and other places, viewing forestry practices that were in place in Europe. And he brought that knowledge back. And actually, when he came back, he advertised that he is a professional forester available. And his first employment was with the Vanderbilts at Biltmore Estate in North Carolina. He was their forester and developed their first forest management plan.
So did he have the love of conservation, or when he was in France beginning the schooling, did it develop more and become a passion for him?
So Gifford spent a lot of time in Milford as he was growing up. His family was here. Although they lived in various places, they would come to Milford quite frequently. And one of the reasons that they enjoyed this area was the natural beauty and the outdoors activities that they could participate in.
And a little bit more about Great Towers. So who designed it, and why did the Pinchots pick that style of design?
So the building was designed by Richard Morris Hunt, who was a very prominent architect in the late 1800s, and they chose a style. It's a French chateau-esque style is what it's called, and again, hearkening back to their French roots, they wanted something that would symbolize their connection with France.
And the design itself, the great room when you walk in, the sense of arrival, that's just amazing. Was there a reason why it was designed to be so big? The great room as you walk in.
Right, so again, the Pinchots were a prominent family. They had privilege, they had wealth, and they liked to entertain. And so that entrance into the Great Hall is not by accident. As guests would arrive, they would come through that huge front door, and there's this beautiful paneled room where they would receive guests and entertain guests that they invited to the home.
Did they ever add on to it, or if we visited it now, it's substantially what it was at the time?
So Great Towers was designed by James and Mary, who were Gifford's parents. And on its completion in 1886, it was different from what it is now. There have not been additions, but there have been interior modifications made. After James and Mary were gone and Gifford and his wife Cornelia moved in, Cornelia, she's an interesting character in her own right, but she wanted to make changes and she wanted to jazz it up. She felt like, in her view, it was kind of stuffy and boring, so she wanted to liven the place up. So she made significant interior changes where she took out interior walls to open spaces up, and actually a lot of the outside features, the water features, the finger bowl, the pool terrace, and the pool, and some of the other exterior buildings were added in Gifford and Cornelia's time, mainly at Cornelia's direction.
When we walk in, and I know they're beautiful rooms, like right off the foyer, I know there's a library and a sitting room and an office, and then that room that has the beautiful painting, the maritime painting. Would that have been substantially the same as when Cornelia and Pinchot were there, do you think?
Yes. So originally, in James and Mary's time, the library was 2 rooms. There were separate rooms for after meeting in the Great Hall and entertaining in the Great Hall. Men could retire to one room, women could retire to another. And then in the room that you talk about, that was also split in 2 rooms, where one was a formal dining room and one was more of a less formal dining area.
So was that their main house, or did they have other homes at the time?
It was not. So Gray Towers was actually, the intent of Gray Towers for James and Mary was to be a place that they could come to escape the pressure of New York and the heat and the humidity in the summer. So it was really a more of a getaway. In Gifford and Cornelia's time, they probably spent more time there than James and Mary did, but they had other homes as well. So Gifford was the first chief of the U.S. Forest Service, so his office was in Washington, D.C., so they spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C. As governor, he also spent lots of time in Harrisburg.
What was Gifford's chronology in the federal government? How did that U.S. government at that time, how did that work?
So initially, Gifford served as the head of what was then the Bureau of Forestry, which was a relatively small agency in the U.S. government. They weren't really involved in land management. They were more of a research and technical assistance agency. In 1905, though, together with Theodore Roosevelt, they formed a new agency, the U.S. Forest Service, which still exists today, and began adding lands to the public domain that were managed as national forests. And he served in that capacity as chief of the U.S. Forest Service from 1905 until 1910.
So just to end, the Gray Towers is the only, I'm going to use the word attraction, but historic attraction that the Forest Service operates, correct?
Gray Towers is the only National Historic Site that's managed by the U.S. Forest Service. Most of the others are actually managed by the National Park Service.
So event-wise, as far as Gray Towers, what would you want folks to know about how it operates on a day-to-day basis, season to season? What would you want our viewers to know?
As far as operations, we have an amazing staff of people that are dedicated to what they do and are very customer service oriented. And so what we offer to the community and beyond, anybody that comes to this area, is an opportunity to come to a very beautiful space and then learn and immerse yourself into that environment where the conservation movement in the United States really began, and the birth of an agency that is pretty prominent on the landscape today.
Are there any other volunteer community groups that are integral in the interest in Gray Towers?
There are, and so we're a small staff. We don't have a whole lot of people on the payroll at Gray Towers to run it, so we rely very, very heavily on volunteers and our partner organizations that serve as a multiplier effect for what we can do. One in particular is the Gray Towers Heritage Association. They're our partner friends group that have a bunch of volunteers that help us in every aspect of what we do at Gray Towers. One of the things that the public sees is they host a number of events throughout the year at Gray Towers that are open to the public. Some of those are ticketed events, others are free, but they are very, very important to what we do at Gray Towers and our success.
So One more question for you, Joe. What do you think will be Gifford Pinchot's enduring legacy?
Gifford Pinchot was one of a few in his time that shaped how we view and manage natural resources in this country today. Without Gifford and some of the other major players, John Muir and later Aldo Leopold, how we view and how we manage and the resources that we have available to us as citizens, public lands, I don't know what it would be today. So I think that's a big part of that legacy, is that Gifford, along with others at that time, were a group of people that had the vision and the foresight to look over the horizon at what was happening, and then had the will and the ability to influence what was going to happen in the future.
That's a great place to leave it, I think. And Joe, I want to thank you for being with us today and sharing some time and giving us a lot of insight into this great story right here within the Pocono Mountains. So we're with the director of Great Towers. He has very graciously given us time, walked us through why Gifford Pinchot is critical, not only to the Pocono Mountains, but to everyone here in the United States. And you are watching Pocono Perspectives on the Pocono Television Network. I'm Chris Barrett. Thanks so much for watching.
It is so great to sit outside here on the porch of 403 Broad in downtown Milford, one of the great Pocono small towns that we have around here. There's history, there's so many things to do, there's Great Towers, Columns Museum, and of course, all the Milford Hospitality Group properties like this one, 403 Broad, right next to Hotel Faucher.
We're definitely enjoying it. And don't forget to come join us next month at the Tricky Triangle for NASCAR weekend, July 12th through the 14th, where we're gonna see a lot of awesome stuff on that track.
It's exciting every season, and they were just voted USA Today 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards for all the NASCAR tracks in the United States. #1, Pocono Raceway.
Yes, congratulations to Pocono Raceway. We'll see you there next month, and we'll see you again next month for another episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine. Thanks for joining us for June.
Cheers.
Cheers. You're watching PTN, the Pocono Television Network.